Well, I'm changing out the trans fluid on the little Sportster here, 1200 Sportster. Thing is, you know, on these older ones, you need you're supposed to need this is 86 to 90. You see this tool, this thing here? It's a little bit different. It's like it should require a special tool, and I always put anti-seize on these threads because it's aluminum on aluminum. What I use is this thing here. Sits in there like that, and I put the wrench on it like that and turn it. It comes out. Now to check your fluid, you got this screw down here, right here. This thing right here. And when the bike is upright, you're supposed to see a little bit of fluid dribble out of this. Well, it was a slightly low, not much, but actually I gotta put a new chain on this, which I have. And you can see some of the oil coming out of this right here, see? That's from the O-ring that goes in the clutch cable. A little bit comes out right there. You can see it right there. That's not a kickstand though. That's not. It's supposed to be just level when it's on upright. So you got your, check your chain. You want to sit on a bike and feel for play up in this way like that, and you want to check it at the tightest point. This one, the chain actually probably isn't screwed up. It really needs to have the shoe replaced, but I got a new chain, a new front sprocket, the plastic shoe. The plastic shoe wears out first, but we're gonna just change the oil on it right now. And we got a drain plug on the bottom. All right, so we're draining the oil on this, and this is the drain valve, drain plug. And it's got a little bit of stuff on the end of it, a little bit of magnetic stuff, which is to be expected. When you take these plugs out, it's best to use a little hammer. Well, that's not a little hammer, but in conjunction with the wrench, because they might be in there pretty good, and you don't want to like strip anything out, because those plugs, it's a steel plug that goes into aluminum threads. Even with anti-seize, sometimes they get kind of like hermetically sealed. The metals kind of bond to each other. So you want to kind of loosen them a little bit with vibration first. So I always try to tap them with a hammer. And I tap them lightly, with a big hammer. Your clutch adjustment on a 86 to 90, this is the one that's got the chain drive, is there. You would adjust the clutch there first. Then you would go and adjust the clutch with this, it's underneath here, to adjust the length of the cable. Give it about an 1/8 inch slack. But you're not going to have many problems. Where you could probably have a problem that could leave you stranded on the road, because these clutch cables can break. And the best thing to do is keep it oiled right here. I like to use fluid film, WD-40 sometimes, but fluid film, is a lubricant that stays in here and keeps all the corrosion out pretty much. Because when this end goes back and forth, this is an original clutch cable. It hasn't broken on me because I've basically been maintaining it, Stuff can last forever. Even these chains, these primary chains in here, they can last. Right now I'm going to be using Klotz oil, Klotz Sport Trans Lube. These primary chains can last, they could be at 100,000 miles, and there could be no problems. What will wear out is the plastic shoe. But I found out I did have some more adjustment on that shoe, and I got more adjustment yet. So I tightened up the chain. I thought it's near. I got into new parts, but I don't need to change them yet. It's near the adjustment, near the end. This is the adjuster right here. You would, it's a 1/2 inch bolt. You'd loosen this up and you would turn this thing in. You can see there's a little bit of stub on here because it's turned in there pretty far. And here's where the drain plug goes, right here. You see where it's dripping out, right where that bumper stop is. So you want to also hold the bike upright for a while to drain all the oil. And get some anti-seize and put the plug back in. And with these, it's kind of hard to get the oil in them because, you know, it's at a funny angle. And I'd use this thing. This is I keep this on my generator because it's good for getting oil down into the engine on the generator. Make sure you wipe everything out. There's a little dirt in there, right? And I'm going to be using the Klotz oil. Now, what I used to use, and I'm not going to put it in there this time, I used to put a little bit of transmission door lube in there for manual and automatic transmissions because I found it was buttery smooth to find neutral at a stoplight. You know, and they're telling me no. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It doesn't seem to have any problems. But I think the Klotz oil is like fiery superior to the stock Harley oils. Maybe not now because the Harley oils, they switched it synthetic. But when I got this bike in '89, you know, Harley was telling you, don't use any synthetic oils. I'm like, get out of here, you know. Then when they're selling them, they said, go ahead and use them, right? Whatever. So I'm going to put the Klotz oil in it. And I guess I got quite a bit more life on this chain left, even though I got the parts. I don't feel like changing. I just want to ride it. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do a review on something. I got some of these. You know, I know they tell you about the Sportster. It's pretty bad for long distance rides, but they're pretty right about that. What happens is this seat, after a while, feels like you're sitting on a rock. And I know I got this windshield a couple years ago. This windshield makes a huge difference. And I never, you know, I did a lot of stuff on the engine and stuff, a lot of other junk to this bike, but I never changed out the seat. I was thinking, you know, they want like, but what I'm trying first is I got these shorts that have like a gel in them that are for like motorcycle riding. But what I used to do, I used to wear the bicycle shorts. They had like the felt pad in there, and I used to wear it with these, with, you know, under the jeans, or with the leather pants. And when I was sitting on that seat, it was not that bad. But if you're gonna make an 8-hour ride, I was thinking, you know, I'm going to probably go with Mustang maybe, but first I'm going to try out these shorts. But this might have fixed itself because I think the problem with the stock seat is that the foam collapses. And after you're sitting on it a long time, it's like you're sitting on steel, right? So this foam in this thing is 34 years old now. So, you know, it might not collapse. It might be fine, you know, but I don't feel like spending $400 on a freaking seat, you know. It's kind of crazy, but I might have to because, you know, if you need it, you need it. Save your pennies and starve. Actually, I dropped like 50 pounds. I'm actually at my weight around when I was, my earlier YouTube videos, I'm at my weight when I was in 2013. And I've been going to the gym 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. 2 hours in elliptical, 1 hour of weights afterwards. So that's quite a bit of stuff. But let me get the oil in here. You know, it's kind of, I'm probably going to order that seat though, because it's so easy to change out. It might just make a huge difference because I don't like, right now if I ride a bike for a couple hours or a few hours, no problem whatsoever. But if I want to be taking this out on long trips, I don't know. I think between the seat and that windshield, you know, you can, you know, you don't need a big touring bike. You can cruise really far in comfort. You know, I used to say, you know, they tell you about the shocks on the Sportsters and stuff, and like, you know, I said, it's got shocks. It's got shocks. It's got springs and shocks in the back. It's got a swing arm. You know, back when I bought this bike, the old school guys were riding hardtails. I mean, yeah, you see some of that on YouTube, but it was more commonplace. That was out in California in the early 90s. And so, you know, from 91, and I was in Japan in 89, or in the 80s. I was riding over there, but hardtails were way more common back then. You know, the Evo was the newfangled thing on the block. This is kind of getting almost to be classic motorcycle now, because it's actually one of the earlier Evos. You know, but still going to be using it. Anyway, let's get the oil in here and put that plug back on here. And, you know, again, you know, we check the fill level with this screw right here. And it's got to be upright when it just starts dribbling out, you put that screw back in, your oil's full. That's your level. All right, it's parked back in its spot again. So I got a flag for it too. How's that? Harley Davidson. Looks pretty good. Got an orange flag versus a black one. You know, orange shows up more. Anyway, I think I will get the seat for it. I might get, you know, because I'm going to be riding a lot. That seat's going to be worth it. And rider fatigue, cut down the rider fatigue.